Thanks so much, everybody. My name is Beck Allen. I'm the Assistant Director for Strategic Engagement and Manager of the Reef Guardian Councils program for the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority. My presentation today will hopefully give you an insight into the Guardian Councils program. It is not a social science academic style presentation. It is much more a layman's or practitioner's view of a reef stewardship program that my team and I are really, really passionate about. Green button's working. Excellent. On behalf of the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners on whose land and sea country we all live, work and play. Their elders past, present and emerging. And personally, I would just like to note that I feel humbled and grateful that the land and sea country that brings so much joy and happiness to my family is the same country that our First Nations people have cared for and been connected to for tens of thousands of years as the oldest living culture in the world. Amazing. I'm actually going to start the presentation, hand over the reins to my CEO and the chair of the Reef Guardian Council Executive Committee through a video, hopefully with sound, because I'm not doing interpretive dance either, or singing.
Climate change is the greatest threat to the Great Barrier Reef, one of the richest and most complex natural systems on Earth. As the lead management agency for the Great Barrier Reef, our authority's position is that we need the strongest and fastest action to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions. That's why we're so proud of our Reef Guardian Council partners who are taking action, but at a local level. Reef Guardian Councils stretch 2,300 kilometres along the coast of the Great Barrier Reef and cover an area of more than 300,000 square kilometres. They represent more than 1 million people who live in the catchment of the reef region. Each year, local governments invest around $230 million on activities that directly benefit the reef. These activities are vast, they're varied, and include things from improved water quality emanating from sewage treatment plants, keeping litter off the reef, and helping communities revegetate waterways. Reef Guardian Councils are also punching well above their weight when it comes to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Collectively, their actions are contributing to the delivery of Australia's commitment to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2050.
The reef is our most precious asset. Our communities rely on the reef socially, economically and culturally. The Council's asked the Reef Authority to collate and promote our efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Actions speak louder than words, and we're delighted to showcase the many varied actions that the Reef Guardian Councils are taking to address the key threat to the Great Barrier Reef. Whether it's replacing lights with LEDs or solar panels, encouraging the community to reduce waste, building bike paths to reduce our reliance on vehicles. Our message to the rest of Australia and the world is, we know you care about the reef, but that's no longer enough. We want you to act too.
Great, I saw a few moments there. So now that you've seen that awesome motivational video, unfortunately, I'm going to bring you back down to earth a little bit. The reality. That's our dream. Now close your eyes and think about where we are now. You're in Cairns. It's vibrant, it's a large city, it's tourism based, but it has a small local government area. Now think about Emerald or Moranbah if you know it. Large country towns, the residents are dispersed across large local government areas, really big. They're inland mostly. They're primary production or resource based. Think cows from the earlier presentation this morning, or mines. Now fly up to Wujal or Yarrabah. They're Aboriginal communities. They're intrinsically linked to the reef and land through culture. They're small, very, very small. according to the census figures at least, which are not necessarily accurate. They have additional local government responsibilities, including child and home care, provision of accommodation and banking facilities. So the reality is we have big affluent councils and small, tiny, lower economy councils. We have a difference in geography, climate, habitats, cultural values. We have big staffing capacity councils. Some of them are bigger than the Reef Authority, to tiny councils where their officers wear multiple hats. So our challenge is to manage a fit-for-purpose voluntary stewardship program that is inclusive and provides a return on investment for the councils, the Reef Authority, and ultimately the reef. And then how to measure the effectiveness of the program and continuously improve. Sounds easy, right? So if it's that complicated and we don't actually have a regulatory role with local government, why do we do it? So the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Act guides the Reef Authority's management to protect the values, reduce the threats, improve the current and long-term outlook for the reef and the communities that depend on it. And one of the objectives you see up there specifically refers to encouraging the engagement of local government, community, and First Nations people, all of which are covered through the Reef Guardian Councils program. We also do it because while we manage the reef and can influence the key threat of direct use, the other key threats lie outside of our jurisdiction. And local government is actually responsible for undertaking actions, both voluntary and statutory, to address these key threats. And this becomes really clear when you read the Reef 2050 plan and you acknowledge how many of those things are actually within local government remit. So what is the Reef Guardian Councils program? It's an alliance to reduce impacts on the Great Barrier Reef through collaboration, education, and targeted action. It's underpinned by 3 key principles: encouraging improvement, continuous improvement, I should say, in addressing the key threats, encouraging reef stewardship in catchment communities, and promoting positive outcomes and advocating for further action through the platform. We have a governance structure that includes an executive committee who provide high-level and operational buy-in and involvement, and of course is chaired by Councillor Jeff Baines. And a working group, which is a collective brains trust and provides a really great forum for technical and operational staff from the councils to network, build capacity by sharing best practice, and collaborate to find solutions. We're also working to build up our connection to the communications teams in the councils to better enable sharing of reef protection and sustainability messaging. The council sign up through an MOU and develop an action plan outlining the activities they'll undertake. These align to the key threats in the Reef 2050 plan. More than roads, rates and rubbish, the Reef Guardian Councils are taking actions like installing fish passages, managing urban stormwater, erosion and sediment control from thousands of kilometres of unsealed roads, undertaking dune, wetland and repair and restoration, managing feral pests like pigs and deer, and converting waste to energy, as just a few examples. Our role in all of this is an enabler. We're helping build capacity through shared learning, promoting the Reef Guardian Council's actions, including things like the snapshot. And we also acknowledge that while the Reef Guardian Councils are taking action to help the reef, they also contribute significantly under the Reef 2050 enabling sections. They're engaging with more than 1 million people in their catchment through a variety of means, and we support these engagements by providing collateral, information, and attending some events. The Reef Authority also provides a twice-yearly opportunity for the councils to connect with their catchment community through virtual reef adventures. This is a fabulous opportunity for the councils to promote the actions that they're taking and engage the audience on various household behaviour changes like waste minimisation. I'm getting the hurry up. The ultimate enabler, last year's October Australian budget outlined a suite of direct funding for environmental programs. Be careful if you Google shovel-ready grants and what you find, utopia might come up. But these grants, 17.48 million, which equates to 920 per council, which is a closed non-competitive grant over the next 3 years. And we're working with DQ as an intermediary with the Reef Guardian Councils. And where we're at with the program and establishing that dream is reviewing the program in preparation for the 24 to 28 term, with a particular view of bringing more Aboriginal Shire councils on board the program and making sure it's fit for purpose and inclusive for them. Thank you all.